In this episode, I'd like to invite your responses to a couple of questions, one of which may inform how we begin the program year here at St. Philip the Deacon. Stay tuned. Hello, friends. Pastor Tim Westermeyer here, Senior Pastor of St. Philip the Deacon in the western suburbs of Minneapolis. Good to be with you as always. We're taping this towards the end of August after what has been a busy summer. I've talked about that in a number of ways. We've had graduations and getting our son off to West Point and a wonderful trip to England and then back to West Point. And as I tape this, I'm anticipating what always feels to me, well, probably because it is, like the conclusion or the about to be the conclusion of summer, which is a really fun weekend that my family of origin, my mom and dad and my siblings and all of their children do in August. And so that's coming up this weekend. And that has me thinking about the start of the fall. So we'll have that family reunion, and then we've got Labor Day weekend, and then we've got what I will call the start of the program year, if I understand the way the calendar is working right now correctly. And if I've got that wrong, someone please correct me, but I think I have that right. So today, unlike an episode where I want to share some information or a reaction to something or something going on in my life, I want to simply ask a couple of related questions. The first is a question I've asked before, but I think it's appropriate to lift up periodically, and that is simply, are there topics that you're particularly interested in discussing or addressing or taking up in future episodes of this podcast? And if you have those kinds of questions, would you please comment below or send me an email or give me a call or get to me somehow to let me know about that? And then another question related to that, but more specific and specifically connected to the start of the program year, is this. At the beginning of the program year, typically here at St. Philip the Deacon, we will do I guess I might call it a little mini or micro series in terms of our preaching. Here at St. Philip, like most mainline denominations and our Catholic brothers and sisters, we follow something called the lectionary. So if you come to church on any given weekend, you're going to hear an appointed set or series of readings that are given to us over a 3-year cycle. Again, that's called the lectionary. At the start of the program year, though, and maybe one or two other times some years, we will depart from that a little bit and focus our attention on some particular theme. And so at the beginning of the program year, and this is often a time when families are coming back and sort of getting reoriented with school and all of the activities of the fall, I feel like it's important to focus on some basics of the faith. And so, for example, last year, I don't know if we can find these or not. If we can, maybe we'll link to these. I did a 3-part sermon series on what is the church called to do, and you may or may not recall that the 3 points I was lifting up from a famous theologian were we're called to worship, we're called to serve the poor, and we're called to evangelize. And so I sort of teased those out over the course of those first 3 weeks of the start of last year's program year. And I am sitting right now, well, I'm sitting in a stool taping this, but metaphorically, I'm sitting with the question of how should we start the program year this year? What are the, and it is going to be 3 weeks. So what are the 3 connected topics I'd like to lift up as we come back to church this fall? I will tell you, I have a provisional idea or the beginnings of an idea, but if you have an idea about 3 things you'd like to hear as you come back to church this fall, I would genuinely love to know what those are. And again, they're sort of connected to the broader question of what are your questions or thoughts about Christianity and its connection to the world or your life. So again, if you have thoughts about that, please indicate them below or reach out to me with an email or text or a phone call. Again, we're not quite to the fall yet. I don't want to rush us. It is coming, but my prayer as we have a few weeks left of what I think of as the summer months is that you can continue to enjoy them, have some rest and refreshment, maybe enjoy the company of friends and family. And until next time, as always, be well, stay in touch, and God bless.